And go ahead and start sitting up nice and tall. You're going to bring your hands into Anjali Mudra, so hands at prayer position at heart center, and bowing into yourself in gratitude. Closing your eyes or soften your gaze. And so Anjali Mudra is a gesture of reverence. So Anjali means reverence, and it refers to honoring that divinity within ourselves and all beings. And so when we come into this mudra, it invokes the unity. Bringing the hands together symbolizes the integration of all the polarities within our being. And this mudra helps to direct our breath and our awareness and our energy into the center of the chest, and supporting us as we turn inward to our authentic being, and allowing our sense of oneness with that divine within to deeply and naturally recognize all of creation and all-encompassing unity within. So just take a few moments here just to tune in to any feelings or sensations that come up as you're starting your practice today. Begin to deepen your breath. And taking your breath into your Ujjayi breath, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through the back of the throat with your lips gently sealed. The word yoga signifies the means to realization of one's true nature. The Yoga Sutras are a roadmap to the self. And within the Yoga Sutras, we discover both the problem and the solution. The four aims of life are the areas in which we enact and return to the self. The 8 limbs of yoga are the day-to-day choices and actions that we can take within those arenas to connect back to the self. Carrying a sense of the big picture in your day-to-day and maintaining a sense of the particulars in your vision of the whole. For example, nonviolence is an aspect of the 8 limbs. It is a particular. Where do we practice nonviolence in our lives? We enact it in our dharma, or our inner harmony, our relationship to ourselves. We enact it in our artha, or our outer harmony, our relationship with others. We enact it in our kama, our attitude, and in our moksha, our liberation, our relationship to the universe. How do we practice artha? The practice of abundant living. We apply the 8 limbs of yoga to our daily affairs. Every moment becomes yoga, and every moment becomes a step on the path back to our true nature. I'm taking a few moments here to set an intention or a dedication for your practice. Drawing this intention or dedication into the heart space. And taking these next few moments to move from wherever you're at, and then come into a child's pose. And you can bring your knees either together for a low back release, or you can bring them hip distance. Pressing the hips back towards the heels. And start to extend your arms nice and long. And if there's any shoulder sensitivity today, then just put a bend in your elbows or soften down through the shoulders. And if it feels good for you, come on to all 10 fingertips as if you have that tennis ball or that orange underneath the hands. Pressing into the fingers and start to press the hips towards the heels. And stay here for several deep breaths and bring that breath into your stomach and into your low back. And one more big breath. On this next inhale, start to lift your chest. Come into that tabletop position and take about 10 breaths here to either flow through a few rounds of cat-cow. If you want to take this into some hip circles, if it feels good to thread the needle, maybe coming into a puppy pose, just spending a few moments, listen to your body, see what you need in this moment. And take another breath or two. And then on this next exhale, start to tuck your toes, lift your hips, come into your first down dog. If you'd like to pedal out the legs here, if it feels good to take any other movements that feel good for you, maybe shaking out the head a couple times, deeply bending the knees. And start to move into that place of stillness. So separating your feet about hip distance, separating your hands at least shoulder distance. And then start to lift the hips, or reaching the sits bones towards the sky. If you need to soften your knees here to find that length in the low back, go ahead and do so. So it's more important that you're finding a nice long back than it is you to ground the heels into the earth. So try to find the untuck of the pelvis or the front of the hips, dipping and reaching forward. One more big inhale here, and wait for that exhale. Move towards the front of your mat. Take a forward fold. As you're coming into this fold, soften your knees even more. Release your hands. You can maybe grab your elbows here and sway from side to side. Maybe you find that interlace behind you and bring out the shoulders. Maybe you're shaking your head out a couple times, releasing the back of the neck. Taking another deep breath. On your exhale, release the hands down towards the ground. Start to roll yourself all the way up to stand, stacking the vertebrae one at a time. As you come all the way up, bring your hands to heart center, close your eyes. Back to your breath. Come back to your intention. Use that inhale, sweep the hands up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, step back, left leg for a low lunge. Dropping the knee down. Inhale, sweep the hands up. If you need to pad your knee here, take a couple breaths, pad the knee. Soften through your shoulders. Wait for this next exhale. Bring your hands down to the mat, step back for either vinyasa. Come right back to your down dog, or you can come right into your child's pose here. Take a few breaths to either flow or to come back to that home space in down dog or child's pose. Inhaling through the nose and exhale, let it go. On your next exhale, move to the front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, step back, right leg, low lunge. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Pad your knee if you need. Take 2 more deep breaths. Find that length in the upper body. Wait for your next exhale. Bring your hands to the mat. Step back for either a vinyasa, down dog, or child's pose. Take a big inhale through your nose and exhale, audible sigh through the mouth. And your next exhale, move to the front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, chair pose. Drop your hips back, sweep the hands up. See if you can sink down even lower. Wait for your next exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, step back, left leg, warrior one. Inhale, sweep the hands up. So in warrior one, square your hips towards the front. Drop that back heel into your mat. So tapering the foot towards the side of your mat. Bend deeply into that right knee. Take another inhale here. On your exhale, bring your hands down. Step back. You can take a vinyasa. You can come right back to your down dog. Or you can come into that child's pose. Deciding what you need from your practice today. How much energy you're bringing into your practice, or maybe you're spending more in that home space or that grounding space. Inhaling through the nose. Exhale, let it go. On your next exhale, move to the front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, chair pose. Sink down even lower this time. If the shoulders need a break here, bring your hands to heart center. You can find that interlace behind your body. Find the balance evenly into your toes and your heels. Take another inhale. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, step back, right leg, warrior one. Inhale, extend your arms to warrior one. Give yourself a moment to square. Press into that back heel. Couple deep breaths. Continue to bend deeply into your left knee. On your next exhale, bring your hands down to the ground, step back, either vinyasa, down dog, or come right into your child's pose. Start to notice your breath here. Maintain the pace of your breath. See if you can keep that even balance of your inhale and your exhale. Noticing the energy, noticing your tapas, that energy, that austerity that you're putting into your practice, that devotion and dedication to your practice. Inhaling through the nose. Exhale, let it go. On your next exhale, move to the front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Come into your tree pose. Start with your right foot down. So that left foot can either kickstand, come below the knee, or above your knee. It doesn't matter where that leg is, just not into the side of your knee. So right foot is down, left foot is bent, left knee is bent. Find your balance here, find your drishti, so that soft focal point, something that you're staring at, but also focusing on the breath within. Focusing on the space that you're creating with the pose. Noticing that internal experience as you're in the pose. If you're feeling stable, extend your arms towards the sky. Maybe just keep your hands on your hips. And with control, wait for that next inhale. Step back with your left leg, high lunge. Separate your feet here as much as you need. So in your high lunge, your back heel is lifted off the ground. You're bending deeply into your right knee. And same as your warrior one, squaring both of your hips. Extending your arms up towards the ceiling. Hands can also be on your thigh for support, or if high lunge is a bit too much, you can come back to your low lunge, dropping that left knee towards the ground. Wait for this next exhale. Bring both hands onto the ground and take a twist. Right hand reaches towards the sky. That left hand can stay on the ground, on a block, any type of height or support that you have if you need it. And then as you take this twist, keep hugging your chest towards your leg. Bending deeply into that right knee. Hugging the knee in towards the chest, creating that space. Using this next exhale, bring your hands down towards the ground. Drop your back knee if it's still lifted. Move into your half split. Start to straighten that right leg out. Flex the toes back towards you. If you have your blocks here, or if you have cans or support with a blanket or a pillow, you can bring that underneath your hands if you need some height. Look back at your hips, square your hips. Soften your right knee, so you're trying not to lock or micro lock or hyperextend your knee. You want to micro bend that right knee. Flex the toes back towards the face. Keeping your hands down on the earth, try to fold just a little bit deeper over the legs. And using your breath here, try to soften any tension around the hips. Soften any tension in the jaw. Waiting for this next inhale with that left hand down on the ground or on your support. Twist open with your right arm. As you twist, keep pressing that right hip down towards the earth. Notice your tendency here. If the right toes start to spin out to the side, keep your toes pointing towards the sky. Notice if your chest opens way out to the left and you're trying to continue to reach the crown of your head towards the front of your mat. Take 3 more breaths. Reach and lengthen in the right side of the waist. So create space here between your low ribs and the top of your hip. Take another breath. As you exhale, bring your right hand down. You can step back for vinyasa. You can step back and take a couple rounds of cat-cow. You can always come right back to your down dog or your child's pose. Taking a big inhale through your nose. And exhale, audible sigh. Using this next exhale, move to the front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Come into your tree pose now. Left foot is down. Your right foot is going to kickstand, or your right knee is going to kickstand below or above your knee, just not into the side of your knee. So find your balance here. Left foot is on the ground, right leg is bent. Grow the roots down through that left foot. So notice if you just dump into that left hip, continue to engage your core. And you're creating that sensation of the left foot pressing into the earth as the crown of the head is lifting towards the sky. Your low belly is drawing in and up. Engage your bandha. So this core space, this is locking in the foundation of the pose. Extending your arms if you're feeling stable. Using this next inhale with as much control as you can, step back for your high lunge. Once you're there, widen your feet, widen your stance a little bit so you can square your hips. Find that foundation in the pose. Nice wide stance, nice long stance. You can always take this as low lunge if you want to bring that back knee to the ground. Your right toes are pressing into the earth. Right heel's lifting towards the sky, and you're trying to lengthen your right leg. Hands can stay on your thigh, arms can extend towards the ceiling. And take a few breaths to find the space and the length. Take a few breaths to soften your body, allowing the pose to happen for you today. Whatever that looks like, letting go of the expectation, maybe what it looked like yesterday or the day before. On this next exhale, bring your hands down to the ground and take that twist. Right hand stays down, left hand reaches towards the sky. Right hand can also come onto any proper support that you need. As you're reaching that left hand towards the ceiling, try to stack your shoulders here. And become aware where the left fingers are in space. So strong, reach that left hand to help you twist open the chest. Using your next exhale, bring that left hand down to the ground. Drop your back knee for support if it's not there. And start straightening out that left leg for your half splits. Grounding the left heel into the earth. Flex the left toes back towards the body. And then separating your feet. So you shouldn't feel like you're going to tip to one side or the other. So separating your feet. And if you look back at your hips, your legs should be in line with your hips. So if you were standing on your legs, it should look as if they were in line with your hips here. Folding over that left leg any amount. Bringing any height that you need under your hands. And start to drape the body over and towards that left leg. Noticing any rounding in that mid-back. Find the length in the mid-back, right at the low ribs. Lifting and reaching your heart forward. With that right arm down, on your next inhale, twist open with your left hand. And that right hand can find any height that you need here as you twist. As you're twisting open with that left hand, become aware of your physical body's tendency here. So keep hugging the chest towards the leg. Reaching the crown of the head towards the front of your mat. And use that reach of the left hand to help you deepen your twist. It's really important here to engage your bandhas, pelvic floor and low belly. Take 3 more breaths here. Create the space between the top of the hip and the low ribs on that left side. Wait for this next exhale. Bring that left hand down towards the ground. Step back with your left leg and either moving through a vinyasa, taking a few rounds of your cat and your cow. Maybe coming right back to a down dog or a child's pose. Take a big inhale through your nose. And exhale, audible sigh. Again, big inhale through your nose. And exhale, audible sigh. And this next exhale, come onto your knees if you're not already. Just make sure you have your strap, belt, or towel somewhere where it's accessible to you from the mat. You're going to separate your knees here about hip distance and untuck your toes. Start to press your hips back towards your heels. Depending on how your knees feel in this position, if you do have a block or a pillow or maybe even a couple blankets here or towels, you can slide those under your hips. If everything's going okay for you, start to sit up over your heels. You want your heels to be just to the outside of your hips. If this is still feeling okay for you here, try walking your hands back. If you feel you can go even further still and you think you can move on to your forearms, if you do have anything underneath your hips here, at this point you're going to want to remove that and start moving down towards your forearms. If you think you can come all the way back on the ground, option for that here. Don't force anything in your knees and just become aware of what's happening in your legs. So as you're in this position, you want your knees to continue to line up with your hips. So sometimes what happens in this is as we go back, depending on how tight we are in our legs, our knees start to go way out to the side. Let that be your body telling you that you're maybe going a little bit too far. Hug the knees back in, and then start to lower down any amount more. If your knees start to lift off the ground, again, let that be a clue that your body's telling you to maybe back off a little bit. So your knees should stay grounded into the earth. Your knees should stay in line with your hips. And see if you can stay here, meeting any sensations with your breath. Knowing the difference between discomfort and pain. So if there is any pain in the pose, feel free to come out. If this is just an intense pose, and breathe into that space. See if you can take just a few more breaths here. Using this next exhale, take as much time as you need to come out. And as you're slowly lifting the chest, take as much time as you need to continue forward onto your hands and your knees into that tabletop position. If you need to extend one leg at a time, if you want to extend both legs at the time, if it feels good to come right back to a down dog here. Just taking a couple more breaths, balance out the legs, the knees, any movements that you need. When everything is starting to feel back to normal, then come onto your seat. You're going to grab that strap and continue all the way down onto your back. And as you come onto your back, take that strap, and you're going to bring it, or that belt, or whatever you're using here, you're going to bring that right around the ball mount of your right foot. And extend that right foot towards the sky. You can bring your strap here into both hands so that you can soften through your shoulders. So there shouldn't be a lot of effort in your shoulders here. This effort is coming more from the leg. The strap is more here for your support. So flexing that right foot towards the ceiling. Start to reach that heel towards the sky. That left knee can stay bent with your foot on the ground. You can extend that left leg forward. And take a few breaths just to soften into the pose, reconnecting to your breath. Using this next exhale, bring the strap together. And start to walk your hands up the strap. And as you do this, start lifting your chest off the ground. So as you're doing this, notice if you're just holding yourself up by the strap. You really want this to be more of an effort in your core. Drawing that navel down, lifting your chest. Either continuing to hold on to the strap here as you lift, or maybe you're releasing the hands towards the sky. Using that core and that breath to help keep you lifted. If that's too much for you, just stay here, engaging the core, lifting through the chest, holding onto the strap. And if that's still too much for you, you can always stay right here with the chest on the ground. And take about 3 more breaths. Notice if you stop breathing, come back to that breath. And waiting for your next exhale, lowering that chest all the way back down. Grab the strap again if you've let it go. Bring the strap into your left hand. You're going to cross that right leg just a couple inches over the body. It's not a big movement here. And then that strap's in the left hand. Start drawing the toes towards your left shoulder. This experience should be happening in that outer right hip. So coming down the outer leg. And then maybe that right hand comes into the hip crease, thumb to the hip crease, fingers towards the outer hip. And start to press that hip away as the toes start to reach towards the left shoulder behind you. Using this next inhale, bring the strap back towards center and bend that right knee, pull it in towards your chest and just move that strap belt off to the side. Hug that knee in, take a couple ankle circles here, maybe pointing and flexing the toe. On this next exhale, bring that right knee over towards the left side for a twist. If you need to support your body here, you can bring anything you need under that right knee for support. On this next exhale, release your twist, come back towards center. Go ahead and release that right leg down. Taking your strap, your belt, placing it around your left foot. Extend that left foot towards the ceiling. Strap can be in both hands or one hand. Just soften through your shoulders, feeling the shoulder blades press into the ground. That right knee can stay bent. You can extend your right leg long. Start to reach through that left heel, so actively engaging the leg and the foot. Checking in with that right foot, keeping it flexed and actively involved. On this next exhale, bring the strap together. Start to walk your hands up the strap, lifting your chest. You can stay here if this is where you were on the other side. If you let go of the strap, keep your chest lifted and continue to reach the fingers towards the ceiling. If that's too much for you, you can always hold on to the strap or you can just keep the chest on the earth. Continue to draw that navel down. Core is really strong here. Being mindful that you're using the core strength more so than your arms. See if you can take 3 more breaths. Breath is strong, face is soft. And on this next exhale, lower the chest all the way down. Strap comes into that right hand and just cross it about a couple, 3-4 inches over the body. Drawing the toes towards your right shoulder. And taking that left hand, Bring the thumb into your hip crease. Fingers wrap around the outside of the hip. And start to press away. And take a few breaths all the way down into that left side of your waist. Maybe even directing the breath into the crease of the hip. And then this next exhale, coming back towards center. Hug that left knee in towards your chest. Removing the strap, place it off to the side. And pointing and flexing the toes a few times. Doing a few ankle circles here. And start crossing that left knee over the body. Taking a twist, stacking the hips, bringing that left hip over your right. Reaching through that left hand. As you exhale, go ahead and release the twist. Bending both knees now, placing the feet on the ground. And two options here. If your hips are tighter, you're going to start by crossing the right ankle on the left knee. If you feel you have a little bit more space in the hip, then slide your leg over so that your right knee is crossed over your left knee. And then whatever one you're in, start drawing that left leg towards your chest. If you've got your knees stacked, interlace the fingers either behind that left knee, or you can reach down and grab for your feet or your ankles here. If you have the right ankle on the left knee, maybe using that right elbow to press open your right thigh. And just noticing your jaw, keeping the jaw soft, keeping the forehead soft. And taking several breaths into your stomach. On this exhale, go ahead and release the legs, uncross the legs. And then change sides. If you had the ankle crossed on the knee, bring that left ankle to your right knee. If you had the knees crossed, left knee on top of the right, and then start to draw the right leg towards your chest. Either interlacing behind your right leg, or maybe you're reaching down for your ankles, your shins, your feet. If you've got your knees stacked, opening the knees out to the side. On this next exhale, slowly release the legs, uncross the legs. You're going to set up for a bridge pose. Bringing your feet hip distance. Find the back of the heels with your fingertips. And then slide your feet just out of reach. Using this next inhale as you're ready, start pressing into the feet, lifting the hips. Arms can come by the sides. If you'd like to interlace the fingers under the body, maybe extending your arms overhead. And this next exhale, lowering the hips all the way down. Draw both knees in towards your chest. Then taking a final twist of your choice, coming over towards the right side first. So if you'd like to drop the knees over towards the right, Maybe extending the arms in opposite directions. If you want a deeper twist, you can cross that left knee over the right knee. And your next inhale, come through center. And take that same twist to the other side. Using your next inhale, come back to center. And start to release your legs, setting up for your meditation. If you'd like any pillows or blankets over the body, or if you'd like to come into a seated position for your meditation, you can. Just make sure that you feel comfortable. Make sure your body feels relaxed. Make sure you feel warm enough. If you'd like to grab any extra clothing, socks, closing the eyes. And finding that comfortable position here. Letting go of your breath. And take several breaths here just to soften, noticing what you notice as you come into your meditation. Begin by bringing your awareness to the right side of your body. Focusing on the breath through the right side of the nose. Noticing the right arm, the side of the chest and the hip, all the way down to your right leg. And take a few breaths to send some energy, some warmth, some vitality through the entire right side of your body. Masculine side of the body related to the doing and the achieving. And start to shift your awareness towards that left side. Focusing on the breath through the left side of your nose. And taking some time to sense that left shoulder and arm, left side body and leg. More feminine side of the body related to surrender and release. Sending that breath, energy, awareness into that left side. And begin to notice both sides of your body evenly. Using that breath to shift the energy between both sides of your body. And drawing your energy back towards that right side, bringing the awareness towards your right hand. The symbol of wisdom, of clarity and understanding. Bringing your awareness towards that left hand, the symbol of compassion, your ability to see all things as they are. Bringing your awareness to your heart center. Taking several breaths to rest in the complete oneness with all there is. Feeling that oneness, that all-encompassing oneness with all there is. And saying to yourself as you focus on this heart space, I experience my very essence as unity. I experience my very essence as unity. I experience my very essence as unity. And start to slowly come back to your awareness. Begin to deepen your breath. Bring some very small movements into your fingers and your toes. Start to roll around the wrists and the ankles. As you're ready, extend your arms and take a big stretch here. Big inhale through your nose. And exhale, audible sigh. Take a few moments, if you're still on your back, just to roll to one side. And if you're already in a seated position, staying there. Come back to the intention that you set at the start of your practice. And noticing what, if anything, has shifted for you on your mat. Making your way into that comfortable seat if you're not already. And bringing your hands back to Anjali Mudra, where we started our practice. Bowing into yourself in gratitude for taking this time for you. Knowing that where we are right now is exactly where we need to be. Thank you all so much for signing in today and coming. Om Shanti Peace. Namaste. Thanks, everybody. I'll unmute you.
Thanks, Tiffany.
Thank you for coming. If you have questions, please let me know. Nice to see you. Nice to chat and connect. If you'd like to donate, thank you all that have donated. I really appreciate it. If you'd like to donate, you can send any donations to Tiffany Ketchmark Yoga at gmail.com to either PayPal or Zelle. And I hope to see you all very soon. Thank you so much for coming. Good to see your faces and practice with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, if you have any questions, you can shoot me a chat or you can hang around and I'll be here.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Enjoy your day. Thanks for coming, Pam.